I have so much content for this episode that I don't want to waste any time. I'm just going to set the context in this section, then intro, and then we'll get right into it from the update from North Macedonia. So, this is the second episode in the North Macedonia series. I started this last time, and because I had done so many updates on the way from the airport and everything, and because our flight got delayed as well, so ultimately the episode was over before we had even taken off from London. Okay, so but we did take off from London, I think about 3 hours or something late, from the Luton airport, and then we landed in Skopje. So I will just roll the intro and then you will hear from me from North Macedonia on the updates of the journey. Here we go. My name is Sunny, and I wanted to create a podcast that would be like a campfire where you tell stories, share life experiences, sing songs, tell jokes, and come home with great vibes. That's why I created Campfire Corner. Welcome to Campfire Corner with Sunny. Now we are in Skopje in the rented apartment. It was an uneventful flight, which is the kind of flights that I really like. And so we had booked the tickets in a way that the three of us had three different window seats in three different rows. Yeah. So it was okay. I did not get any mind. Actually, I did get some really good photos of the sunset when the flight took off. It was about, I think, 7 o'clock that it finally took off. And I was able to get some nice photos with the sunset and the clouds. So that was good. So that was worth the window seat. After that, in Skopje, by the time we got here, it was about almost 11 p.m. So not really good views, nothing to see. The landing was all right. Not the best landing, not the worst landing, but it was okay. Mostly the part that scares me usually about landings is not the landing part but the approach. When they're approaching the airport, some pilots, they don't have the plane lined up perfectly with the glide path. So instead of going around, they just drop a lot of altitude very quickly. And I hate that part with a vengeance. Scares me. That feels like a roller coaster. So this time the approach was absolutely perfect and landing was also alright. And then as we had already booked the taxi, so the taxi driver was waiting for us there with my name on a sign, and we found him easily. It's not a really huge airport, so it was really easy to find him. And he was a character. He talked so much. I did not record any of that, but yeah. So, and he reminded me a bit of my Italian friends, if you know what I mean. And if you don't know what I mean, I'm not going to explain it. But anyway, we asked him a lot of questions. So one thing was that I asked him that can we take out some cash, and then I need to go to the toilet as well. I'd not gone in the flight, so did both those things there. And the ATM was okay because it did not charge us anything extra. It did not charge me anything extra, and I withdrew some cash from there. And after that, then we asked the taxi driver. His name was Erhan, and Turkish name. He said Turkish name. I am not Turkish. I've never been to Turkey, but so he's Macedonian, but his name is Turkish. His mother is Turkish. So yeah, he talked so much that and we asked him about all these things. We asked him where can we find some food, where can we find some drink, like wine or something. So he took us to a kind of like convenience store, like 7-Eleven you find in US and Canada. Same kind of store there where we could find some ready-made like croissant and chips, crisps, what they call crisps in UK. And rest of the world calls them chips, like Doritos. And drinks, beer, wine, everything was there. And then he dropped us finally to our apartment, gave us the key that the landlord had given him. he told us some of the sites as well as too. There's the stone bridge, there's the old town, all that kind of thing. He pointed them out. It was night time, so you could not see exactly where to go, but he pointed out the directions, and this is the parliament and all those kind of things. And then he dropped us at the apartment. The apartment is really nice. It's got two bedrooms. One is a big bedroom with a nice double bed, big double bed, and then one is a slightly smaller bedroom with two single beds. So I remind, because this is going to be just one night, so the girls can take the big bedroom and I can take the small bedroom with one of the two single beds. It's just going to be, we're going to spend a few hours here. Tomorrow we will try to leave early because there's a lot to see in the limited time that we have in Skopje tomorrow, and then in the evening we want to go to Ohrid as well. And this taxi driver, Erhan, he was telling us that by the time you figure taxi to the bus station, then taking the bus, 3 tickets for the bus, and then taking the taxi from the bus station in Ohrid to the hotel, all of that combined, if we take a taxi directly to Ohrid, it would not be too much of a difference. So we might do that. I will ask Robert. Erhan is not going to be available tomorrow. He's going to Greece tomorrow. So I'll talk to Robert and find out as to how much it's going to cost us. Then we'll figure out. We could not get a SIM. You need a SIM because my UK SIM card doesn't work here. It does work here, but it doesn't work in it's not a free roaming zone. It's more of it's a paid roaming zone. So I do not want to spend so much money on that. So we'll get a SIM tomorrow morning from the mall. There's a mall near the apartment, so we can go there and get a SIM card from there for the 3-4 days. What else do we need to sort out? Yeah, tomorrow's plan is going to be pretty tight because I don't know what time we will sleep tonight, and then tomorrow we want to see the Matka Canyon, and then we want to see the Millennium Cross, the Stone Bridge, and maybe a couple of other things, and then still have time to go to Ohrid tomorrow. So that might be a tricky little bit, because Ohrid is the more scenic place. So, and I also want to see in Skopje the Project 2014, where they did something very funny and tacky, is that they put a lot of facades, like old looking facade, on newer buildings. So these buildings are pretty much torn down kind of buildings, but they put facades on them like a fake Arc de Triomphe and a fake other things. So I want to see that as well, because that's what has brought me here to check it out. Funny thing is, the same thing in Romania, it did not impress me. I was pretty much blah about it, but here I'm kind of looking forward to it. But we'll see how that works out. So that's the update right now on Saturday 16th, and now we're going to celebrate Sonia's birthday, and I'll update tomorrow probably. This is a good time for a commercial break. Malta was never the destination. The destination was not even important. The purpose of the journey was to find an escape in the post-COVID world and breathe in the air, out in the open, look at the open spaces and talk to people you would never meet in the normal course of your life. And then I fell in love with Malta. My book, The Malta Moment, is available on Amazon Kindle and Smashwords. Links are in the show notes. Check it out. Welcome back from the commercial break. And good morning for the second day, technically not really second day, in Skopje, North Macedonia. Time is about 9:40 a.m. I am trying to find some place which would serve not just coffee but something to eat as well, which seems to be a problem because this is Sunday and it's early on Sunday. I did find one place which serves latte macchiato but no decaf and no food, just shakes, coffees, and I think maybe juices as well. That's about it. Yesterday, so we got to the flat and then we celebrated Sonia's birthday. And we realized that the driver, although he was very talkative and friendly, he talked a good game, but he did not do very well with us because he could have taken us to Domino's instead of going to a 7-Eleven kind of place where the only thing we could find was like little snack packets. But anyway, so didn't get any really good dinner last night, and now I'm trying to find some nice breakfast. Might be a while. I came out mostly because I wanted to go to the mall and get a SIM. Without a SIM card, without an internet connection, you're kind of stranded. Anywhere you go right now in the world, you will be stranded. So in the flat, there was good Wi-Fi, so we could do some research and stuff like that. But otherwise, it was, yeah, bit sketchy when you get out. I did do the directions beforehand so that I could check how to get to this mall called Ram Store Mall. The taxi driver told us about this, and he was right there. It was not very far. It was about 9 minutes walk. And I am just noticing these e-scooters, sky blue color e-scooters here, like a big parking, and it's called Bin Bin. So I don't know what app that would be. Probably will be called Bin Bin. But based on how I'm looking and observing the traffic pattern, I would not be hasty in renting an e-scooter and going onto this road. Crossing the road in Skopje is a little bit tricky proposition compared to other places. Most places I've seen, especially in Europe, if you stand on one edge of the zebra crossing, what they call crosswalk in US, the traffic just stops and people let you walk across the road before they start. Here it's a little bit tricky. I've crossed the road twice. One time nobody stopped, so I had to just wait when there was no traffic and just quickly cross. Second time, a car came very fast and stopped just before the crossing. And then there was a car coming very fast behind him as well. So I wasn't sure what's going to happen. But I was safe. I safely crossed. So I think it's a little bit of watch where you're going and be sure that they're stopping for you before you start crossing. Otherwise, things could get hairy. Mall will be open at 10 a.m. So I need to wait for that anyway. But in the meantime, I was thinking maybe I could find some place where I could get coffee and a sandwich or something before the mall was open. So a good use of the time. I haven't seen anything. Most of the shops are closed. Even traffic on the road is not a whole lot of traffic. There is some traffic. It's pretty fast traffic. I think speed limits are different here. I saw a speed limit last night which was about 120. But that might be kilometers. Yeah, I'll make sure before I shoot my mouth. Okay. So right now, not much happening other than me trying to find a cafe. And when 10 o'clock happens and the mall opens, I'll go inside and then get the SIM. And also at the same time trying to find if they have a food court or cafes inside. I'm sure they would. Wait for the next update. This is Hungry Sunny in sunny Skopje. One big disadvantage of living in England is that when you go out to some place which has nice weather, you still have to take your jacket with you, because when you come back, you know it's going to be raining, it's going to be cold. And if you're only traveling with hand baggage, then that jacket spends all the time on your arm or hanging on to the backpack, being a nuisance. It's just a pain in the proverbial to carry a jacket in a weather where you don't actually need one. It's very warm and it makes your arms sweaty as well. But let's go back a little bit to the morning. I got up about 6:30. No, before 6:30. 6:30 was my alarm set. I got about 6:15, and I don't think I slept very soundly. Did sleep, not very soundly. and think I could hear voices in the flat as well. So my friends were not sleeping for most of the night. I left them alone. They left me alone. Then in the morning I got up, and then not much to do, but I just used the time to communicate with the taxi service and the landlord. So taxi service, I wanted to find out what are the different prices for the places that we want to go to, like Matka Canyon, where we were planning to go early this morning, but nobody was awake, so not happening. But I got some prices for different things, which I won't bore you with all the numbers. But yeah, it's kind of like if you think about 3 people taking the bus and then 3 people sharing a taxi. Taxi will be slightly more expensive than that and save a bit of time. Yeah, that's the level of quotations that I've got, and communicated with the landlord as well. And he was asking us to when are you checking out? When would you like to check out? He asked very politely, not like that landlord in Edinburgh. And I said like probably 10 or so. I said the or so on purpose because the checkout time was technically 10, and he didn't mind. He said, yeah, sure, that's fine, and then leave the key there, and then give me the lockbox code, and leave the money on the table. But I only have 1,000 dinar, and they call it dinars, not dinar. Okay, so 1,000 dinars and 500 dinar notes, which means I could not leave him 4,800. I would have to leave either 4,500 or 5,000. So I said, okay, I'll have to leave you 5,000. He said, I can make it earliest at 11 o'clock, so then I can give you 200 back. I said, okay, because I could see my friends were still sleeping, so I could see that it might take us a while to get ready. So I said, yeah, that's fine, we'll wait for you. And then I did get ready, and then got bored, as in like I was hungry and didn't want to spend the time waiting for my friends to get ready. So I thought, let's go out, which was a good idea at the time. Right now I'm just walking along the sunlit roads and thinking, I could have stayed there and read. But anyway, this is better because I can take pictures. So the attitude here is a little bit more relaxed about things. There was no pressure from the landlord, like you have to leave exactly at 10 o'clock, like there was in Edinburgh. And I see a very pretty bench outside a place called Europe House. This bench is painted in colors red, orange, yellow. I think it's the rainbow colors, because if you go from the code for that is Vibgyor, so violet, indigo, blue. No, it's 6 colors. Blue is missing. Green, yellow, orange, red. Yeah, so blue is missing, but otherwise these are like 6 of the 7 colors of the spectrum. It looks very pretty. It's got some figures on that which have, alright, no, they are actually figures of like these theater masks kind of faces. I'll take a picture and put it on the Instagram when I post this episode, so that you can see what I actually mean. Other than that, this is just a road, normal road, and up on the mountain I can see that Millennium Cross. I have no desire to go on top there, and it has nothing to do with the religion. It's just that it looks too high. I don't want to walk all that way. But once I get the SIM card, then I will do some research as to where is the project 2014, and can we go to the Matka Canyon. We want to go to the Matka Canyon, and Matka Canyon is very, very beautiful canyon. It has underwater cave, which I'm not planning to go into, and it is on the way to Ohrid. Ohrid is the city where we are going next. So the taxi service person has suggested that we go that way, and then he will give us a €5 discount and also an extra hour for the taxi to wait there for us to enjoy Matka Canyon. So we'll see. Once I have the SIM and I can talk to my friends, then we'll decide as to do we want to do that. It seems still a lot of money. We can share it, so it'll be slightly less expensive, but still quite a bit of money compared to the bus fares. Yeah, wait for the next update. Well, there was a wrinkle in my plan. Although the mall opened at 10 o'clock sharp, the mobile shops, T-Mobile and A1, they open at 12 o'clock or 12:30. So I saw that from the sign, then asked around as well. Same thing. Which means that I have to waste another 2 hours before I can get the SIM. And we need the SIM because without the SIM you can't search for things and you can't plan things and you can't message people like taxi people and everything. So what I did was there was a place called Istanbul Simit Coffee. It was like a little cafe and they had some food there as well. So I sat there, ordered latte macchiato, and also got some vegetarian food which was made of potatoes, but it was like not a toasty, but like a toasted bagel kind of thing. It was nice. It was not too full of potatoes, and it was not too cheesy. It was quite nice. So I had that. One problem I'm finding here is that in North Macedonia, they don't know what decaf coffee is. So they kind of look at me like I'm talking some weird language when I ask about decaf. So I had to have a normal coffee. I'll avoid having that more. But, well, it was latte macchiato. It was alright. So I sat there, and the other benefit that I had from sitting there was that I could use their Wi-Fi. And once again, because I had to ask the password, and when you have different alphabets to reference from, then it's not easy to tell. So once again, I'm learning these things as I go along and picking up more tricks. So the lady at the cafe, she did tell me the password and I tried it, did not work. So I typed what I had tried into a Google Keep note and then showed it to her on my phone. She checked it, corrected it, then she asked her colleague and then corrected it again, and that password worked. So then I was able to message my friends and actually called my friend at the flat to report what the status is, and I said there's no point, I'll just come back there. So I had my coffee and now I'm going back to the flat. We will give the key to the landlord and I'll probably come back to the mall and they can eat while I read or something like that. Keep tuned, stay tuned, keep waiting or something like that. Whatever, just I'll come up with a new update later. Flat, I got back to the flat almost without checking the navigation. And we waited there. The apartment landlord came over. It was his name, Risto apartment is Ristoism. So that was funny because I didn't know Risto was a name. Anyway, so we had some chat with him, gave him the money, and he did not have full change, so he gave me 3 euros, which is alright. And then we came back, me and with my friends, back to the mall. We went to the same cafe, Istanbul Simit Coffee, and then there was a whole long discussion as to what's this one, what's vegetarian, what's not vegetarian. And then suddenly I realized that I had not paid for my coffee and the pastry thing that I had. So and that lady who had sold me those, she was not there, but the waiter who had brought that to my table was there, and he was the only one who knew English. So he translated on my behalf to the lady who was inside now, as in like that I had this thing and then I had not paid. So she then said, okay, 160 dinars, but I did not have anything less than a 500 and she did not have change. So Here's how it worked. I gave her the €3 that the landlord had given me, and that was it. So that squared my bill away, and I'm not a fugitive from justice anymore. And now I'm waiting in front of this shop called A1 because at 12 o'clock it's supposed to open. Oh, it's 12 o'clock, and then this lady comes out and opens the shutter. And now I'm gonna go and get a SIM card from A1 or T-Mobile. We'll see. I'll go to A1 first. Because without a connection, without a mobile internet, you are completely stranded. Stay tuned. Okay, so we have to stop here because we are running out of time and I have a lot more material to cover. But that will come in the following weeks. There's a whole lot to tell about North Macedonia and all the things that we did there. We are just starting. I don't have a recommendation for this week, but I will try to think of something interesting for next week. For now, I will just say thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful week and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you and bye.